Farmers used to be able to do many things, like raise their own food, fashion their own clothing, and trade with neighbors. Now, high prices persuaded farmers to focus on one cash crop and use the money they got from farming the crop to buy food/manufactured goods. Farmers became both consumers and producers, not just producers. In 1872, the Chicago firm of Aaron Montgomery Ward sent out its first catalog. This is what led to the modern-day catalogs like the ones you see today. Large-scale farmers, especially in grain-producing areas of the Mississippi Valley, became business people and specialists. They had to buy expensive machinery to plant and harvest. For example, the steam engine helped increase the speed of farming, as well as the twine blender also helped increase speed in the 1870s, as well as the combined reaper thresher in the 1880s. These types of equipment were costly and called for first-class management. Farmers were inclined to blame railroads, banks, and volatility of global marketplace rather than taking the blame themselves.
There was a time of mechanization of agriculture. New tools were brought in to help farmers speed up their work. This ended up pushing the small farmers out of the way and raised the big farmer's ranks to that of a businessman. The farm gained a status equivalent to the factory.
Across the world, the great frontier of the 19th century was the companion of conquest, bringing forth opportunity to the technologically and politically superior pioneers, who in turn displaced or destroyed countless native people. Settlement was a lot more peaceful than American settlement, with Canadian Mounties establishing order before settlers moved in. The American frontier was similar to that of the Argentinian frontier, where General Julio Roca vanquished the natives and handed out land to a few favored soldiers and friends. The Tsar wielded his power by moving strong armed landowners to expand east into Eastern Asia. Eventually, over 1 million of the Tsar's subjects would move into this newly discovered land. The Australian frontier was too dry for traditional farming, so they resorted to sheep stations.
Most of the nation's farmers were deep in debt.
There were many reasons why farmers were losing money. They were dependent on one crop, wheat or corn, to make their money.
The prices of their products were determined by the world market. Just look at those world leaders. Low prices and deflated currency was a big worry for farmers, and they were caught in a vicious cycle of their farm machinery increasing their output of grain, lowering the price, which just drove them deeper into debt.
Other reasons were ruinous rates of interest, which were largely created by Eastern loan companies.
Farmer tenancy rather than farmer ownership was spreading. Farmers were at the mercy of various corporations who controlled all output to raise prices. There were 3 trusts that damaged the farmers greatly: the Harvester Trust, the Barbed Wire Trust, the Fertilizer Trust, and the Railroad Trust. Farmers are facing a lot of hardship, including floods, droughts, and excessive heat. They are in need of expensive fertilizers. The government guides the farmers to death. They overseize their land. The farmers had to pay too high taxes, while the wealthy Easterners hid their assets as stocks and bonds in safe deposit boxes. As a result of the unreasonably high tariffs, the manufacturers became rich. Due to these reasons, farmers sold their products for a much lower rate. They also abandoned their farms and towns and left the cities. Farmers did not make a lot of money. The middlemen took huge cuts from farmers' profit. The railroad owners became the worst enemy for farmers. They fixed prices. They were so high that farmers can benefit from burning their corn. Any complaints from the farmers, the railroad operators let the crop to rot at the railroad station. Farmers were independent individualists. Although farmers made up half the population, they were disorganized. On the other hand, factory workers were organized in labor unions.
After the Civil War, agrarian unrest flared. Farmers unsuccessfully sought relief from low prices and high indebtedness by demanding an inflation of paper money. In an attempt to enhance the lives of isolated farmers, Oliver H. Kelly organized the National Grange of the Patrons of Husbandry in 1867. Eventually, the Grange grew to have over 800,000 members, and they raised their goals to include the improvement of the collective plight of the farmer. They eventually managed to get Congress to pass a set of regulations known as the Granger Laws, but afterwards their influence faded. The Greenback Labor Party also attracted farmers, and in 1878, the Greenback Laborites polled over 1 million votes and elected 14 members of Congress.
It's a hard knock life for farmers. It's a hard knock life for farmers.